Hello, beautiful people. I'm Ian, and this is my 8th episode of my Weekend Wisdom. I'm actually recording this intro in Malaysia. So I'm currently celebrating Chinese New Year and wishing a Chinese New Year to all my Chinese people watching. So I'm really honored to have the opportunity to speak with a good friend of mine, David McGowan. We talk about topics regarding money, finance, and faith. We have some very controversial, very interesting topics that I think everyone will enjoy. It's actually my longest podcast today. We actually recorded it slightly over 2 hours. So because it's so long, there's a lot of topics that we touch, a lot of tiny little nuggets of wisdom that different people might share and different people might have. Would love to hear your insight in the comment section as well. So I really hope you guys enjoy.
We have carrots.
This is really good, and I don't think there's alcohol in it. If you want to try,
I'll try it.
yeah.
I've heard of this brand.
Oh, I just got it because I like the color. Whew. Don't like it?
No,
Too sweet.
way too sweet.
You're drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah, but Red Bull tastes like medicine.
Ah, no one describes
You know
it like that.
they made Red Bull taste worse on purpose,
Really?
so that people thought it was healthier.
That's not a thing.
No, seriously. During the testing trials, they were like, "This tastes too good," so they made it taste more like a medicine.
I'm pretty sure people said that they made medicine sweet just to make people like it, not hate it, because it's good for you.
Really?
So that sounds counterintuitive.
But the Red Bull tastes like medicine.
Also, taste like medicine is not a compliment.
No, it's not a compliment. Definitely not. I'm usually a Monster guy, but this feels like it has less caffeine.
Okay, what about a Jaeger?
Like
That tastes like medicine.
a Jaeger bomb.
Just Jaeger, Jägermeister, any
By
kind
itself,
of,
without the Red Bull.
yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? Because it's sweet, you know it's sweet, but then it's like there's an alcohol that hits it. So
I actually kind of like Jaeger shots back when I drank
how long ago was that?
7 months ago.
Oh yeah, you said it just now.
yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for doing this. Are you gonna leave me?
I'll dab you up.
Okay, sick. Okay, thank you so much for doing this. This is really fun.
Yeah, thanks, man.
For people who don't know you, if you just give a brief intro, and a little bit of an interesting point is instead of saying what you do, say who you are.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm 24. I identify as male.
Okay.
I started as a creator.
Mhm.
I made YouTube videos my whole life. I've been making videos for like over 12, 13 years. Who I am as a person, that's a deep question. I think I'm someone that always wants to learn.
Mhm.
I'm so curious. Can I curse? I'm so fucking curious about like what's going on
Yeah.
beneath the surface.
Yeah.
So I apply that to everything, to my business, to my work,
Yeah.
to people that I meet. I think I would describe myself as a curious person.
Curious person.
Mm.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you like? What makes you say that you're curious?
I just always felt like I always felt like there was more going on to everything.
Yeah.
Whether it was like politics or just like the education system.
Mhm.
My whole life I was like, this doesn't really make sense.
Mhm.
And I wanted to figure out why it was
Yeah.
the way it was. So I'm always asking myself those questions. And it's kind of detrimental sometimes.
Mhm.
Like if you think too much about things, you're kind of creating, it might not be real, but you're trying
Yeah,
to find the meaning.
Oh damn! You know, I've never met somebody who says that they describe themselves as curious.
Really?
No, this is my first time.
Okay.
And it's interesting because it just means that you, in a way, are an explorer of knowledge. And I'm kind of defining it, but like you actually listen to understand. You get what I mean? Not listen to hear. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I'm definitely have selective hearing
Oh, dude,
for sure.
of course.
But I definitely want to understand. Like
Mhm.
if someone says something to me, whether I'm giving advice to a friend or even like on a sales call in my business, I'm always trying to find out like what are they really saying,
Yeah.
not what they actually said.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's interesting and explore.
I think it's like there's this inherent correct me if I'm wrong, but there's this inherent need for you to problem solve. Is it?
Mm.
You have to fix things.
Fix things, maybe not so much, but I want to know what's going on.
Mm.
I don't think I'm the most productive
Okay.
in that sense. That like, I'll figure out the meaning, but I don't know how to fix it. Yeah.
Does it validate you when you realize like, oh, this is actually how it's like for example, when I showed you magic, it's like, how the hell did he do that? Is that kind of curiosity, or is it like a like
Yeah.
a philosophical one? Philosophy.
Yeah. With the magic, I don't think so much like, because I'm not going to figure out the trick.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But my first thought is like, why did you learn magic? Not so much how did the trick work. I'm like, why are you doing the magic? That's what I'm kind of interested in. Why are you doing the magic?
Well, the answer that I give to most people is that when I was 16, I was very insecure, a lot of social anxiety. I used it as an icebreaker, and it just snowballed from there. Okay. And just been doing it over 10 years now.
Sick.
Yeah. That's the main reason why, because I was just very shy, and didn't even dare to order food. I had no hobbies. I don't even know why. The magic just appeared, and it was so validating to be seen. It's weird. It's not weird. Most people do feel like that.
Everyone wants to be seen.
Yeah, they do want to be seen. What about you? Why'd you have your life always centered around video, or creating stories, or creating content? Like,
yeah.
Before you answer, I just feel like everyone in this space, or most people growing up, always felt like, especially our generation, always felt that we want to be YouTubers, right?
You hit the nail on the head with that one, for sure. Before that happened, so I started making YouTube videos when I was around 12. Before that, I used to have these like obsessive periods for like 3 months at a time. Yeah. For as long as I can remember. I'm going to be a tennis player. Okay. I'm going to be the next soccer player. Yeah. Actually, the soccer one was weird. Yeah. I got my sister or my mom to take pictures of me like under a goal. So I was already thinking about like the personal brand before the skill. Yeah. Like I didn't have any soccer skills. But I would always get super obsessed with things. I wanted to open a hotel. So I was like figuring out the cost. I was like 7. Oh. So like, okay, how does a hotel work? How much does it cost for the room? Do you know Argos, the big catalog? Yeah. I used to get that book and figure out this is how much the room would cost. So I always had like obsessive interest. Video was the first one that stuck for an extended period of time. When I started making YouTube videos, it was around, I think like iJustine, Smosh. Oh my gosh. OG days. Yeah, OG days, like 2011, 2012. And I was just obsessed. When I found YouTube, when I found the internet, would have been around 2009. I remember just being completely obsessed. I was like, this is where I belong. So I was making like joke videos with my friends in primary school. When my parents found it, they were not happy. Really? Yeah. Oh my God. So annoyed because I was going around vlogging in the house. My name was, no, I can't speak. The videos are still online. Dave Montez is what I called myself. Okay. My secret identity. Yeah.
I'll link it in the description.
Yeah. Please subscribe.
Is it private? It's not private.
No.
Damn, most people that part of their life.
I don't have the password.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So I did that for a while. When I was 13, I had no friends, so this was just like what I did. Oh. Yeah. We all started somewhere. And I stopped doing that channel then when I went to secondary school. And then I kind of like, I didn't lose my love for it. I got more interested in like filmmaking. So I got a GoPro in 2013. I was filming like the family holidays. Yeah. And then I started making gaming videos. Classic. Yeah. My channel was called Big Hand Gamer.
What games?
Literally anything. Oh, like okay. Call of Duty, like random, just, I kind of even forget the game. The
PC
Minecraft.
Or console?
I was, more PC. Yeah, I didn't even have a console. I actually got that to make more videos for the channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't really like gaming.
Okay.
I just
You
liked.
just did that because everyone was doing it.
Yeah. I just liked the videos, and I was like, okay, this can work. And I wanted to add in like the personality. I remember getting like people in school found out about that after about a year, and it started off with like major like slagging. I still had no friends at this period.
Okay. Multiple years of being alone.
I can actually get on to how that happened. I did have friends before that. And then my parents found out about the channel. And I would stay up till like 3 a.m. editing videos. Wi-Fi was so slow in Ireland. It wasn't even a 1 megabyte upload.
Oh, ew.
So I would have to render the video on my laptop.
Yeah.
Wait. I'll leave it running all night uploading.
Yeah.
And then come back from school 4 or 5 p.m. and then the video would be ready to publish or schedule. And I was like grinding. Like I was like asleep in class, and like people knew, oh, he's the guy with the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I eventually got it to like around 7,000 subscribers. And my dad was like, you need to delete this.
Why?
He just was like, this is just ridiculous. Like you're embarrassing yourself. I don't know the exact context of what he said. And I'm not mad at him. Like, to be fair, I think if my slightly loner son was making weird videos on the internet, I would be a little bit concerned myself.
Of course.
So this is actually more than 10 years ago now. And we still talk about this, but I was like super upset. And I was like, the line I said to my dad was, I built it from the ground up. Like, I was so proud of what I had done.
7,000 is big feat.
Yeah.
Especially at that age as well.
I had like a funny strategy where I would have notifications on for all the similar YouTubers, and I would be the first to comment on their channel. And I would say, hey, Jacksepticeye, thank you so much for making videos. You inspired me to start YouTube. And then I would have like 10 other Google accounts. And I would say, hey, Big Hands Gamer, I love your content so much. And then that would boost me to like the top of every comment section. So I was actually getting like organic inflow of people from that. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. Yeah. But it taught me all the skills that the foundation that I still do to this day. Like just kind of figuring out little loopholes on the internet. But that was a weird period of my life for sure.
How long ago was that?
10 years ago.
And you're saying that you're still implementing those kind of strategies like up to today? Those kind of like loopholes, those strategies, you're still implementing it today?
Yeah.
Wild.
Same editing skills, same software, Premiere Pro. I started off.
Oh, you're on Premiere?
OG, I actually started editing in After Effects.
Okay. Sick.
So I was watching, I forget the guy's name.
Yeah.
I think his name was Andrew something. Oh, he owned Video Copilot.
What's that? It's so familiar.
Video Copilot was like the OG editing videos on YouTube.
Okay.
For like VFX. So I would watch his video and then I would make it in After Effects. This was before I started YouTube.
Yeah.
Then I got Sony Vegas for YouTube videos and then eventually Premiere Pro. And I haven't changed since.
Oh my God.
So I've been using Premiere for like 10 years, After Effects for like 14 years.
You don't meet a lot of people who use Premiere actually.
Really?
I don't know, everyone I know don't use Premiere.
Not anymore.
Do you use Premiere, Dara? Oh, use Premiere?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What do people use? DaVinci?
Tom was making fun of me for not using Premiere. I edit on a PC and I edit on Premiere.
Yeah, Premiere is the best. Yeah. In my opinion. DaVinci looks pretty good.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I tried it, hate it. Don't like it.
It's just whatever you're used to, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
But the note structure, I just can't get my head around.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the note tree.
The node thing.
For the colors.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I get when people say it's like layers. And obviously it's very intricate. But like, oh, come on.
I think it gets really organized if you have a lot of layers to your project. So that like it's on the clip in the nodes. Whereas in Premiere you have like 20 layers.
Yeah.
And that gets a bit messy. I think that's where it gets better.
But I feel like when you're looking at a Premiere timeline, like let's say you're done editing like a whole big project, you zoom out. That's like art.
It looks beautiful, yeah.
right? Doesn't
Yeah.
it? Oh my gosh.
Well, maybe yours. Mine looks like chaos.
Do you color label it?
I started doing it recently, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
But I
love
used to
doing
just like jump right in and be like, I'd get excited. I'd color grade the clip before I even noticed.
I do that too.
Yeah.
You know what though? I think you're more excited about the end product than the process.
Yeah. That's
Like,
interesting.
I can't wait to show this to someone. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Have you rendered videos and then you're like, you watch it back just because you're excited and you're like, I don't like this. I have to re-render it.
Mm.
You do that a lot.
If I make a video that I like,
Yeah.
I will watch it on repeat for like maybe 10, 20 times,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe 30 times.
Really?
Yeah.
How long's the edit though?
Depends on the video.
Yeah.
5 hours to 50 hours. Depends.
No.
Yeah.
Dang. That's wild.
It takes a lot of effort.
No, because I get tired of listening to the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, if I'm being honest,
Mhm.
completely honest, inside the information, I don't even watch the podcast.
You don't what?
No, I don't even watch the full podcast, bro.
You don't even watch it?
No. The ones that I'm filming, I don't even watch the full thing.
That's crazy.
But I know a lot of, and the odd thing is, I know a lot of friends and family who like all of a sudden reach out and be like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching you on this thing," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," you know. But yeah, I don't know, because I already know what's happening.
I'll be honest. Like, I filmed the podcast recently, and I knew the good parts of it, and I was like, "All right, let me just jump into this." So it's only 30 minutes, but I didn't listen to the full thing.
No, there we go.
I just went boom, clip, sick. That's really good, and then rendered.
Yeah. I had this edit, and he was talking about how he made like 6 figures for the first time, but there was another part where he was talking about how money was his focus, and I compiled everything. I shift the order of it just to make it sound like initially he used to do it for money, and he could never achieve that 6-figure mark.
Yeah.
So just crafting that story, but still staying aligned to that person's like kind of thing, you know.
What do you think money is?
What do I think money is?
Yeah.
Money's just fuel, bro.
Fuel.
Like,
okay.
I have a car. I get a point A to point B. It's just the fuel that gets me there. I think for my culture, money used to be everything. It's a very big thing, and it's a comfort. But you know, being like unemployed for a while and just pursuing what I love, it just became I don't have to worry about it. It always comes, you know. Obviously, I'm a strong believer in like you must know how to steward this right. You know, it is a gift, it's a tool that you use. So if you don't steward it right, then you know you're gonna mess yourself up. So you have to be wise with it. I think that's all I think it is.
Like to respect money?
No. I don't respect money. I don't let money control me. It's just a tool. It's just like a necessary evil that this world has. It's something that we give value to. So what do you think? What do you think money is?
I love
I love money.
I do love money, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think most people would say that they would like to have more of it.
Yeah.
I think money is just energy. I think it's people's effort and time in an energy format. And I think some people get to put in less energy than others. But when I think of 100,000, I think of effort and time.
Yeah.
That's trapped in this sort of store of value.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
I think what pisses me off is I know how to leverage my time to make more money. But the average person, my parents, who are told their whole life to save, and then they're just printing trillions of dollars every day. Not every day, but for the last 4 years. That really annoys me because they tell us and put so much emphasis on money, which it is important. We need it to get around, do nice things. But the disrespect that they would have, and I don't know who I'm referring to when I say they.
Yeah.
I guess that the Federal Reserve, whoever's in charge of inflating the currency, the disrespect they have for the hard-working people and the middle class particularly. Because I think the wealthy are fine. They
Yeah.
know the loopholes. But I just think money, when I found that out about money, that really annoyed me so much. I was like, okay, they're printing trillions of dollars, hundreds of years worth of natural inflation levels after the pandemic and after the 2008 crash. Why the fuck do I not have it? Where did this go?
Yeah.
So I think people are extremely uneducated about money.
Mm.
And I always talk to my friends about it all the time, just to like open people's awareness to it. Because I think most people think, oh, it's just a means of trading, but there is so much more going on to it. And I think you can capitalize on that if you're aware of the money and where the money's flowing. And like I said, I think it's energy. So it's always
there's this
being converted.
two things that you said there, and I kind of want to touch base on.
Yeah.
It is so just hold me to this question in case I forget. It is how did you deal with that into that situation with your parents? Do you try to help that help educate them there? And then another thing is I kind of want you to speak a little bit on like elaborate more on like leverage. But before you do, there was this quote that my friend said to me. I absolutely love it. It made so much sense. Is that money doesn't like sitting still, and if it sits still, it leaks. Money has to flow. It needs motion. Right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, whenever you have money, somehow, somewhere, people need that money from you. It always happens. And it's like, and if you just hold it there, and saving is not, it's horrible, right? If you want to save high yield saving account or S&P, right?
Yeah.
But if you just leave it there, it will start leaking. And I love that. I love that about like what he said. So to go back to the question first with your parents, when you learn all these things, did you try to maybe like educate them? How did they take that?
I do. I think my relationship with my parents is funny because
Are you the only child? Only child?
My only what?
Are you the only child?
No, I have a younger sister.
Okay. So you're the oldest?
2 years younger than me. I would classify myself as someone that disagrees with mainstream opinions quite a lot. I don't try to push that on people.
Yeah.
But I would prefer it for people to be educated on it. So when it comes to money, I think we're grossly undereducated.
Yeah.
And my parents as well. But I think when you tell people something that they don't want to hear, it doesn't get received that well.
Of course.
So what I did is, I've talked to my parents about it, but they only started listening when I led by example. So I could say it all day, guys are printing trillions of dollars and we don't have any. Let's get a bit mad about this. Where can we try and leverage the opportunity? Where is the opportunity? But in the last two years, I've started to make more money and I've started to invest my money. And I've helped my mom with that as well. So I've made her quite a nice chunk of profit with money that was just sitting there because she trusted me. And I basically started explaining to her about financial markets. This is how the money flows, 4-year cycle, Bitcoin, for example. But I think it only started when I led by example. And then to go back to the leverage question, I think the first leverage is like not using your time.
What do you mean by that?
So like time is a limited resource.
Of course.
And a lot of people think about money as time. So for example, if you make, I'm just going to say 100 euro per day. If someone says, I'm going to spend 1K on a jacket.
Yeah.
That's not something I would do. But the average person that makes 100 a day would think, that's 10 days for me to have that jacket.
Yeah.
It's not really because of taxes, but that's kind of how they think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think about money as time at all. Like I said, I think of it like energy that wants to flow somewhere. So what I've tried to do is like leverage opportunities. So I look at like a bigger picture of the world and I'm like, where is the attention going? Wherever the attention goes, money flows.
Yeah.
So for example, my biggest interest would be cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the highest leverage opportunity that you have in terms of multiples.
Mm.
But I think at every stage of your wealth journey, there is different game that you have to play.
Mm.
Naturally, if you're worth 100 million, probably doesn't make sense if you're buying meme coins on Solana.
Of course.
It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You might just put it in the S&P 500 and get your standard 5 to 10% per year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to learn, like, okay, where am I on this scale, and what sort of risk can I take to get more leverage?
And when did you learn all this, like all about like crypto, for example?
I was invested in crypto in 2021.
Yeah.
But I was just your standard retail investor that was like, oh, holy fuck, Bitcoin's at 50,000. This is insane opportunity of a lifetime. It's going to go up forever. Woo! So I jumped in. Let me get this. I lost all my money. Naturally. Then I abandoned crypto 2021, 2022. And then I started learning about it more.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure, but it was when I started learning about inflation and market cycles through books and podcasts.
Yep.
And I said, okay, this is interesting. So when there's a presidential year, they start printing more money, then that takes a while to catch up in the market. That inflates everything in the market. So if I can get in now, and I know that these cycles have repeated themselves pretty accurately for years, maybe just maybe, I can capitalize on that.
And why crypto? Why not stocks? Or is that something you do as well, like day trading?
Yeah, I fucked up a bit with the crop, with the stocks.
Yeah.
I told my mom to buy Nvidia in 2022.
Oh yeah.
She didn't listen to me. My thesis was, and I was slightly wrong in the big picture analogy of it, but in 2021, Facebook changed their company name to Meta, which was the metaverse. They were really leaning into like online communities, virtual reality, essentially. And I said, okay, if one of the biggest companies in the world is going towards virtual reality, we're going to need more processing power.
Of course.
If billions of people are being put into this metaverse, I was wrong. They needed it for AI. I didn't see that coming, but the thesis played out well. So I told my mom to buy Nvidia, AMD, and Meta. If she did that, she would be more wealthy.
Did you buy?
What?
Did you buy?
No.
Oh.
I would buy in crypto instead.
Fair.
But I did the same thing in crypto. I invested in AI projects. So 2 of the ones that I made my biggest profits on was, I said, okay, I missed the Nvidia train. I thought I was too cool for stocks.
Yeah.
Even though it's one of the biggest assets in the world. I think it is the biggest company in the world right now. I said, okay, if this is happening in the stock market, crypto kind of copies what the stock market does.
Yeah.
So I started investing in AI projects on the blockchain. I will say it, Ponzi schemes. They are Ponzi schemes, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
So I know if I buy low and sell high, for me to make a 10x, 9 people have to lose everything.
Yeah.
It's player versus player.
Yeah.
And I don't like that aspect so much, but I just think that's just the way the world works.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're describing a lot of things, and you're describing it really well in terms of somebody who doesn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
We had a brief conversation about crypto, actually. Like the second time that we met.
Yeah.
And then, like I would tell friends like, oh yeah, I know this person. I have friends who do crypto as well. So I was talking to my housemate, and he's like, yo, why are we not on it then? I'm like, I can't do it. I don't know anything. And if I were to do it, it'll be gambling because I don't know anything. Yeah. People don't understand that. It's not just money can't be the sole driver of things. I feel like, I don't know if you agree with this, but I don't think you're fully doing it for money. No. You enjoy that. You enjoy that process. You enjoy the growth. And if you went in just thinking that I want money, it'd be gambling. Yeah. Yeah. And hearing the way you speak as well, it's like the knowledge that you know. I think most people that I've spoken to about crypto or even stocks, they don't understand anything.
They don't understand.
They're just following what everyone's saying. Oh, this person online is telling me to put it in this. Or in that, the only thing I know, the only thing that I've actually studied is just index funds. That's
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
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 That's just the long term thing. Because I've never
Mm.
been like a stock or crypto person. So
I think the whole crypto market is basically driven by fools. Like, for me to
yeah.
make money, I need 9 idiots. Like I said, for
To
me to make a
lose.
10x, to
Yeah.
lose everything.
I can't even grab like that. My head is I can't wrap my head around that. I don't understand that statement.
So, like, the way financial markets work
Yeah.
is it's based on liquidity.
Okay.
Where basically liquidity is like a flow, an
Yeah.
inflow of capital. So in order for something to go up,
Mhm.
people need to be buying. So if I want to buy something for 1,000
Yeah.
and sell it for 100,000, I can only sell it if people are buying it for
But
100,000.
what brings it up to 100,000?
What?
What brings up that value? Is more people buy it and it
More
goes
people
up? Oh,
buying
okay.
it. Yeah. So the market cap is essentially being pushed up.
Mm.
There's other ways liquidity work as well, where you can short and long a stock or a
Mhm.
crypto.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't know you can short in crypto, huh?
yeah, you can basically short anything you want.
Okay.
So that's a good way to make money. But I
Yeah.
actually don't trade.
Yeah.
I buy, I hold,
And sell.
and I sell.
Mm.
That's all I do. I don't trade. I'm not educated enough to trade. To trade, you need to be extremely unemotional. I'm still learning those skills, but I'm definitely too emotional to trade.
I know a close friend of mine is really good with trading.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has his own main job, but this trading thing is just completely fun for him. So he just puts money in and he plays around with that money.
Mm.
So he would measure the candles and he knew Trump was gonna win even before it got announced,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. And listening to him explain it, it is actually really cool. But still, at the end of the day, after walking away from the conversation, I don't know anything,
Yeah.
and that's what scares me. But it's also like I'm not daring enough to do something that I wouldn't want to. Like if everything I'm learning is just speaking to you and asking you, then I actually don't really like it.
Mm.
I have to do the research on my own.
I
That's just the
agree.
way I see it, anyways. I think it's for me. For me, that's
Yeah.
just for me. But I do admire it. I think it's so cool
You just have to be bad.
to be good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to be
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I think most people say this in crypto,
Mm.
so it moves in 4-year cycles. The stock market is a little bit more random,
Mm.
but you lose in your first cycle.
Yeah.
Your second cycle, which is what I'm in now, you make profit,
Mhm.
but you could have done better.
Yeah.
And then your third cycle is where you go, okay, now I understand the game.
Mm.
So if you understand the loss,
Yeah.
the pain of that, you're more careful the second time.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I'm taking profits here. You know it's not going up forever.
How important is it is to have like a big enough capital as well?
With crypto, not too important.
What, like 100, a few hundreds is fine? Or is
It is. It depends on your risk tolerance and how much you want to come
Of
out
course,
with.
yeah. Fair.
What I had done is I had saved up money
Mhm.
that I would, when I first started freelancing, I was saving up capital. My goal was to buy a house, which we can talk about. I think it's the stupidest thing you can do.
I've been saying that actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've been saying that as well. People don't agree with me.
Yeah, buying a house is ridiculous,
You
terrible.
think right now or in general?
In general.
Okay.
Chaos.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get back to crypto, but
Okay.
anytime the government
Mhm.
or some sort of big institution is telling me I should do something, my life has worked out very well by doing the opposite.
Yeah.
To whatever that is.
Yeah.
These are the books you need to read in school. Why? Because you need to read them. That's what
Mhm.
you need to learn this. Why?
Mm.
It's the same with, so your plan is you go to school, you get educated,
Mm.
you go to college and learn off people that aren't successful because they're teaching you in college. If they were successful, they would be doing what they're teaching you.
Of course.
So that's college to me, mind-boggling. Then you go get a job. You save up everything while we print more money. So your savings is actually decreasing in value, even though the figure remains the same in theory. And then you buy a house and you get a loan for 30 years, sometimes longer, 35 years.
Yeah.
That you never see this money. The money doesn't exist.
So the thought behind this is usually they say, yeah, but the value of the house will go up.
The value of the house does go up, But on a 500,000 euro house, you're also paying 200 grand in interest.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that because you're just paying a monthly payment.
Yeah.
That can be a fixed number. What I think is the problem is you're buying an asset that's a liability.
I say that. They don't agree.
It's a liability.
I say it's a liability. They know it's an investment. You get people out here saying everything is an investment. I'm like, if it's not giving you money back, it's not an investment.
It's not an investment. It's a liability.
Okay. Yeah.
You have a personal loan which you are personally liable to.
Yeah.
Now there is some things in Ireland. You have the rent a room scheme.
Yep.
You can get 14 grand a year tax free. Okay, cool. Makes sense. You're going to buy a 2-bedroom apartment and rent out one of them that covers the price of your mortgage. That's a pretty smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But the average person doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They buy a house and they live in it. And they never, ever, ever, ever see that money. It's not real. You have a physical house that you live in. But I actually thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
If you buy a house for 500,000, you live in it for 40 years, it's now worth 1 million. Holy fuck, we're millionaires. This is fantastic. Okay, sell your house. Where are you going to live? Every other house is now 1 million. You've not made any money. Show me the money. The only way you can capitalize on it is you sell your house for 1 million and you move to a third world country.
Yeah.
And now you're up.
Yeah.
But you could have done that 40 years ago.
Yeah. What if somebody buys 2 houses?
Why would they buy the second, like a holiday home?
I don't know, to rent it out or something.
Oh, like a rental property?
Yeah.
I'm not against property as an investment, no.
Oh, I get you what you mean.
Yeah. But as
buying one house and saying it's an investment?
Chaos.
Okay.
Yeah. And people saying, oh, I'm worth 500,000. No, you have a loan for 750,000 but the interest that you're paying. You're actually minus a millionaire. You're in debt, 1 million. People don't think about this.
Yeah.
No one, people celebrate this. I see it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I bought my first house. Like, would you congratulate me if I said, Ian, I just took out a loan for 750,000 and I'm going to be paying this back till I'm 60? You would say, Dave, why have you done this?
Oh my
what are you thinking? And I'm like, Ian, I'm never going to see this money. This money is not real.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The house thing to me is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I've also done the maths on if you buy a house for 1 million, you have 100,000 euro down payment, and then let's say the mortgage. Now rent in Ireland is expensive, so there is like discrepancies in this. But that 100,000 invested into even a boring thing like the S&P 500, 12% a year minus 4% for inflation, so around 8% per year in growth, and you contribute to that on a monthly basis and continue to pay rent. The house is 1 million, and then your investment portfolio was like 3.5, with the compound interest of putting into that on a monthly basis.
That's what I was thinking is, instead of getting a house, which is there's a reason why houses are everything, right? So I instead of getting a house, I really want to like start like a coffee shop business. You know, I like the whole idea of it. It sounds fun. A lot of things I do is for fun. But also, I feel like cash flow is way better rather than just having a house and staying in it. Because if I do get a place, it will be essentially what you just said. You know, and a few years ago, yeah, technically, everyone around me who do like a 9-to-5 job, you know, they're doing well, buying cars, getting a house. And I'm like, man, why am I even doing this? You know, like the video stuff is hard, or like I try to do magic, and now I'm in a space where no, I don't like that life. The debt and the stress and oh my gosh. My friend just bought a place, and he paid. The property value wasn't the greatest, so he paid an extra 90,000 in it, and the bathroom, which is one bath, was leaking, so he had to spend money to fix that. And I feel like it's always just money going out. It's crazy. Obviously, rental properties, there's always like people are always gonna say like, you know, you don't own it, so they can kick you out anytime. Or, it's always that same thing, right? Yeah, it's always like that.
But
argument.
You're also flexible.
People don't like that.
Yeah,
they don't like the idea of not having a fixed home. That's why they're so comfortable being comfortable. Yeah, notice that?
I know. Yeah.
And
I agree.
essentially everything that you were saying is going against the rat race. The first time I got exposed to that was when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
The what?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I actually have not read this book.
No way.
It's one of
Everything you're saying, it sounds like that book, and you've never read it. Wild.
a lot of people, like, if I say something, I was chatting to Thomas.
Yeah.
And we were actually chatting about God and what I thought God was. And
we'll touch on that later.
Yeah. And he said, "Oh yeah, but you read that in a book," because he knows I love reading books.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, this is my opinion, original.
Yeah.
If someone else has it, I'd love to chat to them about it. But this is my idea." So I think a lot of time people think your opinion comes from somewhere, like a book or a movie or someone told you it. Whereas I just like to take things from different places and then form my own
opinion,
reality, because it's real to me. But I'd rather live I'd rather be delusional and have like this abundant mindset than be delusional of like scarcity, you know.
Of course.
Because they're both delusions.
Yeah.
They're printing money.
Like what drives you more is the fear of losing money or the excitement of possibility? It's just, both can be good motivators, I feel like.
I don't fear of losing money. I think I know the way humans think, that they prefer to decrease the chance of downside. They prefer that than the potential of upside.
Yeah.
I would say that I prefer the upside.
Yeah.
Like in crypto, I think it's like 50-50. 50% chance you lose everything. Gone. Poof. Rug pull. 50% chance you make a 5x. Pretty good.
And you see the 5x?
Yeah, I've made 5x's pretty easily.
As in, like, that's what you focus on, the 5x?
No, 5x is an example, but honestly, I think 10x, if you buy at the right time in the right project, is very reasonable.
So, as in, you're focused on the positive part of it, is it? Is that what you mean?
I just think it's a very, like, to me, that's a good bet.
Oh, wow.
To take.
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
50% gone.
Yeah.
50% 10x. Or 5x.
And is 50 the limit?
No. That's just the ratio I see in my mind.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's a 50% chance this does not work.
Yeah.
But there's a 50% chance that it does at 10 times the potential downside.
Yeah.
So if I put in 10K, I'm thinking, okay, there's a 50% chance I lose 10 grand. But there's a 50% chance I make 100. I'm taking that bet every day of the week.
Yeah.
Because I can make the 10K back. That's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Like it's just money.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the 100K. I don't mind so much it goes to zero. You'll find another way to make money. I think you can only do it when you have disposable income or some sort of business or job that gives you cash flow. Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What are you going to use the money for anyways?
So that's the other thing where I want to touch back on. You said like money is like energy. When I lost my job, I think I asked some like close friends, like for example my dad even said, maybe you should go do part-time. I'm like, what? Part-time?
Yeah.
7 hours, 90 euro part-time?
Yeah.
I do magic, I get like 350 for example for like an hour. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like that. It's like exchange of value, the effort, or like you use money to buy your time. You wanna earn more, but do less, like a lower effort.
Yeah.
But earning more, and that's so crazy because then, like when you take the hour out of it, it's a whole different game. And, my friend, he wanted more money, and he was thinking working on top of his 9 to 5, get a part-time job on the side. He could be so tired. But it's crazy. It's crazy now even thinking that like that is a thought.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do that. That's wild. Right? You find a different way.
Yeah.
You leverage your skills. That's I think that's what I'm.
But that's crazy to most people.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing to say.
I think when you always take risk doesn't feel like risks. Your risk tolerance is different.
The riskiest thing is to not take a risk.
Yeah.
My fear is being average. I don't understand how people think the safe option is to be mediocre. That sounds like the worst option to me. Like, I prefer the risk.
Yeah.
The risk is always better. Like, life is the riskiest game in the world. No one makes it out of the video game.
Yeah.
We all go. So it doesn't really matter. Like, you might as well take the risk. And I don't mean stand on a fucking cliff and do something crazy. Like, do a calculated risks, you know? Yeah, that's interesting. I had a full-time job.
What were you doing before?
I worked in a in a barista school. Dublin Barista School on South Antrim.
You taught it?
No.
Okay.
I'm not that cool. I was like an in-house content creator.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fine, but I just knew this was not gonna work.
Yeah.
And I knew that before I got the job. I was doing freelance work, but it just wasn't making any money. But I basically applied for other jobs while I worked there.
Did you go to college?
No. Yeah.
Was it always like related to the things that you want to do?
Yeah. When I finished school, I was smoking a lot of weed. So that was not ideal.
It really makes you less motivated.
Yeah, but I was hard on everything. I was very curious to go back to the full loop. I was just curious about how I could take these substances outside of weed, and that it would alter the way I perceived reality. I was like, this is bizarre. I wasn't doing it for pleasure. I was highly depressed. I was like, this is interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I had a very weird experience with these things. It wasn't for pleasure at all. And it wasn't to escape. It was like, there is something else going on. I'm just seeing the world one way. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah. When I finished school, I was like, in my head, I'm going to be Cole Bennett. Do you know Cole Bennett?
No.
He's a music video director. He has the Lyrical Lemonade company.
Okay.
Sick, super creative guy. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do music videos. So I was shooting music videos, getting €500 here, 1K here. Wasn't going anywhere. And I was using that to basically fund my retarded lifestyle of smoking weed all day and doing stupid shit. Then the pandemic hit and I got a big smack in the face. This all collapsed. I fell out with a group of friends. I got parathyroid, which is basically I was overproducing calcium. So I had to get an operation because I was like sleeping for literally days on end. After that operation, I was like, okay, so this was 2020. I said, I need to get back to Dublin. I had to move back to my parents' house in Galway.
Okay.
And I was depressed, really depressed. I was drinking a lot at the time, wine, and it was really, really difficult time. My ex-girlfriend, I don't really think she knew what to do with me. So I was like, I need to get back to Dublin. I actually applied to work for Tom.
Oh.
In the Go House.
Yeah.
And he said, I was too late. And I don't know if he hired Dara or he hired someone, which is crazy. This is a full circle thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm not going to get this job as a video editor for the Go House. But I was still stuck on, I need to get back to Dublin. So Tom put on his story, my friend looking for a videographer, which was the guy that owned Dublin Barista School. And I ended up hopping on a call with him, hopped on a call with the manager, and then got the job. And I moved to Dublin a week later.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful because it helped me get my life back on track.
Yeah.
I was not in a good place.
Yeah.
Just helped me build a routine. I experienced reality a bit more normally.
Yeah.
But I still knew I was made for more.
Yeah.
So I started learning sales. Started making free product videos for companies. And then I basically told my boss, I don't want to work full-time anymore, but I'll put you on a retainer. So you can still have my skills. I'll still manage the social media account, but I'm just not going to be here.
Yeah. So
I ended up agreeing on that for him. I'll actually be fully transparent on it. So that was $1,500 a month to manage the social medias. I was being paid 27 grand a year, which works out at €2,250 per month.
27 was 2000.
€2,250 per month.
Really?
Unless I've gotten the math. Yo, Dara, run the numbers on that. I feel like, on Joe Rogan, Jamie.
Oh my God.
I feel like this is Jamie. Divide 27,000 by 12.
Oh, this is net. This is gross, sorry.
Yeah, gross.
Oh, okay. I was thinking net. I was like, that's really high for net.
No, for net, I was getting like
probably
1,700.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2,250 a month,
yeah.
gross. And so I signed him on for 1,500 a month.
Yeah.
He started another coffee company, and he said, "Can you manage the social for this too?" I said, "Of course." So now I was at 3K a month. So I quit my job on the spot. And then I had another client that I just shot a video for 2.5K product video. And I said to them, "Hey, I'll make your content for your ads." Another coffee company, actually. And I forget what they were, but I think it was 2K a month. No, maybe it was 1,750.
So you started doing like 10 bags a month?
I started doing 5.5K
Okay.
within 2 weeks of quitting my job.
That's net, right? Is that gross?
That's gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that's gross,
it was about 60K a year.
Yeah. Wow.
So I doubled my income in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember specifically at the time, so this was 2022, I was like, my goal was to make 50K per year. That was all I wanted to do. I was like, if I can make 50K a year doing what I love, then I've made it.
Yeah.
I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I was 22 at the time. Then I just fell in love with business. I don't care about the videos so much anymore. I want my client to get results. I want to make the money. But now I love the game. I still have to do the videos.
Don't you outsource it to people now?
Yeah. So I have a videographer. I'm hiring an editor at the moment. I have Jesse, who's on the team, as like a project manager. But my goal now is like building businesses. That's what I want to do. And that's what makes me excited. I don't know where I'm going with this there.
No, it's just your process.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because that must be a big mindset shift. And if like all of a sudden you start earning this, you like double this amount as well.
Yeah.
I have and I kind of want you to speak on this, but I have a friend who I think is struggling at the moment. He's doing like this sales shop that he hates. He's saying that he hates it, right? He upgraded his camera, said he'll start making content. It feels like it's always never too good to post. He said he tried to plan it, but he doesn't have the time. And he said he's tried it before and it never worked out, so he wants to plan it properly. But all this planning and all this talking led to nothing. This is my opinion. If I don't see anything, it's just air, right? And if that person's like watching you right now, what would you say?
I would say...
Wait, before that, I sent them a job, right, for a social guy. He said he'll apply to it. He looked at the job and he's like, I'm not qualified.
Okay.
And he just didn't do it.
What are his skill levels like?
He's taking pictures. He knows how to take portrait shoots. He was my second shooter for a while.
Okay.
Like for one event. So like, I've seen his stuff. Like it's not bad, but it's just like this insecurity or this doubt. And
I think there's the main thing is productive procrastination. I think anytime you want to plan something and for it to be better, you basically just don't want it to be done. I used to be a perfectionist. Yeah. Now I'm like, let's just get it 75% of the way there. It's good enough. Because if you are a highly skilled person, you're 100% what you're getting for that last 25% of effort. So let's just say you're working on something for 5 days. That last 25% of effort is another 5 days. Yeah. Because it's so detailed what you're doing. So I just think he is being productive, but he's procrastinating by saying, I want it to be perfect. Nothing in life is ever perfect. The best time to do something is right now. It's actually the best time to do something was yesterday. Yeah. So you're late. Yeah. I would just try and figure it out. Like, I think if you really want it, you would do it.
Yeah. Oh, I say that all the time.
You would figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's sometimes when I get comfortable, even with my business revenue, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. This is way more money than I made before. My team are getting paid more than I got paid 3 years ago, full time. I'm like, sick. So then I need to get reconnected to my goals. I need to get angry again. I think angry is the best thing for it. Anger is the best fuel ever. When a girl breaks up with you, you're going to have a good gym session.
Yeah.
A lot better than if you're going back and having nice
Best
cuddles.
pre-workout.
Yeah. Best pre-workout in the world.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I think you need to get angry with where you are in life. And I don't mean be ungrateful. I'm extremely grateful for where I am. But I'm not satisfied. Because I know I'm not using my full potential.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off. Every day that I look at my bank account and I'm not a millionaire, I'm fucking annoyed. Really angry. Like, why?
How many years are you away from that?
I would say a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. With my investment portfolio. My goal was to be a millionaire before 26 or at 26. So we'll see how that works out. It's all in the hands of the markets.
Sick, dude. If you truly believe that it's gonna happen, I literally said something in my this girl at work today. I said that I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know it will happen. That kind of thinking. I see that you have that.
I have a lot of Tom and Ben would describe me as I have a lot of conviction in what I say, and a lot of times people don't agree with what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but they can't say that it's wrong because it's just that I truly believe what I'm saying. I don't know, you don't know me as well, but I get that quite a lot. I can say things that are controversial, and people will be like, "Ah, I don't know about that," but then for some reason people slowly start to agree with me. I said to a girl in the gym that she's training to be a doctor, and she said, "We disagree on everything." I said, "We don't disagree. You just haven't come to the same conclusion as me."
You're that guy who says that. I will agree with you, but then we'll both be wrong.
No, I don't. I actually don't think so. I don't think anyone is wrong. I just don't see how you can be wrong about something. It's kind of
it's very subjective, is it?
It's like the education system.
Yeah.
No, there's one answer. There's not one answer.
Yeah.
There's billions.
Yeah.
Unlimited answers.
Yeah.
To solve. There's loads of ways to solve a problem.
Yeah.
But we're conditioned, and we're programmed from a young age that there's only one answer to the question.
Yeah.
Anything that's not this is wrong.
That's how a lot of people think, though.
But it's not their fault. They're programmed.
Of course.
This is how I think about things. It's like, I don't look at someone who says, "Jesus, that's crazy what you're saying." I'm like, I know it's crazy, but I went through this process too of basically my whole reality breaking down. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then now, when you get over that fear, then you realize that what you've been told may not be true.
Like, Elon Musk actually spoke about how, in terms of knowledge, it's like knowledge in a specific region is like a topological graph, right? You see a few tall, high points where people actually think or have high IQ, and everyone's just average. And the average is like the Dunning-Kruger effect. Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you heard that? Basically, is the less you know, the more you think you do. And like people start speaking out about it, like protesting or public speaking, and they're just very opinionated. The more opinionated they are, the less they know about that topic. You ever heard of that?
It's interesting.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've met those people, because when you speak to them, you're like, oh, you really don't know, and the whole argument breaks down. But they're stuck in the idea of, I already know everything I need to know, so I'm ready to go out there. But you are always, because you're curious, you're always in search of that knowledge. You don't think you know enough, right? Like if you talk to scientists, they're always like, oh, we don't know so much. There's so much we still don't know. You know?
I have that mindset for sure.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing though, I don't want to say for the average person, but for people that don't think the same way I do, the process I've had to go through is like, in order to level up, your mind
Mm.
and what you know.
Mm.
You need to basically kill what your beliefs are at that current moment.
Yeah.
So from 16 to 20,
Mhm.
I developed these beliefs that were very different to my childhood.
Yeah.
But then from 20 to 22,
Mm.
I had to kill that old version of me
Mhm.
and create this new version. And it's a very painful process.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait, everything that I've learned to get to this point doesn't make sense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's because you're growing.
Mm.
And the version that I am today is so different to what I was a year ago.
Yeah.
Incredibly different.
Even the yesterday, like
Yeah.
a week before.
Mm.
Oh, that random cut was just because I had to swap my battery out. But my other episodes, which is so funny, right? I have my own camera,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow I've recorded on like an A7 IV FX3 and A7S3, just because people at the time they're like, "Oh, you want to use my camera?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Okay.
And that way it doesn't have the recording limit,
Mm.
because my old camera does. It annoys me. So I used to have a timer where I have to like keep looking at the timer and
then check it. Yeah.
What was it? Oh yeah.
Ben's question hit me.
Yes. So it's not so much a question; it's a topic.
Interesting.
Right. And it's a topic that I've spoke to Ben about before, and it's a topic that I actually spoke to Thomas about before.
Okay.
And arguably, I think that is a topic that made me and Tom closer as friends. Right.
Okay.
What, and you mentioned this before just now. What is your perception of God? Your conclusion, the one that you mentioned.
Yeah, my conclusion. Before I give it, I've grown up a Christian.
Catholic?
Catholic, yeah. Baptized, First Communion, confirmation, all the standard stuff, confession here and there. I became very into science when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned about the Big Bang Theory.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, when I heard this, I said, this is all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I started debating. We had this guy in our school when I was 16 called Matty Hart.
Mm.
He was sort of a preacher.
Yeah.
And he would just talk to us about God.
Yeah.
And I would debate.
Yep.
Like, here's why. I was like, this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
I know I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Where I thought I had all the information.
Mm.
And I had based an opinion on a lack of information thereof. And recently, I would say I had experimented with psychedelics and stuff a few years ago. That didn't really make me believe in a God or a higher power. I don't know what happened when I was taking them, to be honest. But I said, okay, I'm really annoyed at organized religion because they say we know or we have faith. But they're kind of like we know. And I said, I'm a hypocrite because I'm taking the complete opposite stance, saying, no, we know it's not real. It's all fake. So I decided to become agnostic.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the middle. I said, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't. That was the opinion I took. And funny enough, as I've started to learn about energy, particularly energy, dimensions, physics, I've landed on there is more to the three-dimensional space that we live in.
Yeah.
So I do believe in a God. What that God entails, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But I think it is a positive force of good. And I think for it to be a positive force of good, there needs to be a negative force of good. The devil, Satan, however you want to phrase that. I became very aware that we live in a three-dimensional space and we are aware of time. Time exists in the fourth dimension. In the fourth dimension, time is a straight line, which means that the timeline that me and you exist in right now is continuous. Yeah. Which means if you can see in that dimension, which we can't, that we know of, you can see the end of time and the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the fifth dimension is all the timelines that you exist in parallel, based on loads of infinite different changes. And then 6, 7, 8. I think God is in one of these higher dimensions, and he's overseeing all of that. I say he because I'm a Christian. So that's kind of what I think of it as he. But I think God is a force of good. I think we have God in us. I don't think of God too separately from us at all. I don't put God on a pedestal. I started praying in 2023, and I didn't do any of the poems or the standard sort of things that people say. But I was just like, okay, if God is my friend, I'm gonna just chat to him like my friend. So I actually started praying like, hey God, what's up? I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know why you've made this plan, but I trust the plan. I trust the process. And there's a few things that made me go, okay, there's something here. Something.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to have faith, but I wasn't too sure. I asked God a few times, I'm ready to receive XYZ. That thing happened the same day. One moment that I'm actually open to share about was I was with my ex-girlfriend on and off, and I didn't know what was going on. I hadn't heard from her for like 2 days. I knew something was wrong. And I remember in a dark room in my parents' house, Christmas. This is last Christmas, not the one that just passed. So just over a year ago. And I said, God, can you just give me a sign? I trust you, and I'm willing to go with the flow here, but this is really confusing me. 10 minutes later, boom, I had my answer. It was over. And there's been a couple of things like that that have happened in a weird way that have made me think, okay, God exists. I think people think about it the wrong way, or they're very opposed to it, which I completely understand because I was too. But I think it's naive to think that we have it all figured out. And I think there's so much more to reality than the 80 years that we live on this planet in physical form. And I just want to make sure that I make decisions while I'm in this little video game that's just like boom, and then I go to the next part of the game. I just want to make sure that I do good decisions that I'm not going to regret when the lights go out and I'm going to have to look at it back.
Have you there's a few things there really interesting that I want to pull a thread on. One is you said that if there's a good, there's an evil. So you believe in a higher power, the utmost highest dimension. And he is good, right? So how do you reconcile the thought of so much, like it's basically hell enough right now, so many bad things are happening, where is he in all that then? Where is the good?
This is like a Stephen Fry sort of opinion, like kids are suffering in Africa. There's a lot of suffering on the planet for sure. And that was one of the things I used to think about when I was atheist. Like, how can he let this happen? Why? He must be evil. It was actually a Stephen Fry video that I was just reciting as my own opinion when I was 16.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said that God is either good and not all powerful, or all powerful and not all good. The Christian belief is he's both. He's all powerful and all good.
I believe that there needs to be suffering in order for there to be joy. I just can't see how you need to have one without the other. And there's an analogy that I've started saying to people, and that I've started thinking about. I heard it somewhere, and it's, if you were a little entity in space, darkness, and this light started coming towards you, and you're like, hey, what the fuck is that over there? And they said, hey, like, what are you doing out here? There's nothing here.
Do
you want to go to this place called Earth? What's Earth? Why would I want to go there? Well, it's this place where you feel pain, you feel laughter, you feel heartbreak, you feel success, you feel envy. You get to feel all of these emotions,
Mhm.
but you have to take all of it.
Mm.
Or do you want to stay here and feel nothing?
Mm.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's like we get to feel we're alive.
It's a gift.
It's a gift,
Yeah.
even if it's painful.
Mm.
And I think what makes me realize that I'm alive is not when I'm happy. It's when I'm sad
Mm.
or angry.
Mm.
You can feel it in you.
Mm.
Happiness is a very boring emotion.
Yeah.
You just kind of chill. So I'm actually grateful that I get to feel everything.
Mm.
That's the experience of life. And I know that that's why God has given us this opportunity to be conscious and aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I wish there was no suffering? Yes. Do I think it's unfair? Yes. But I also think there's an equal opportunity in all these areas. There's a positive. As hard as it is to think, there is a positive. So I've experienced my fair share of pain. I would say that it's self-inflicted, most of it, not from other people necessarily. I've caused the pain myself. But I'm glad that I have. Otherwise, how would I know if I'm happy? Like if that were just your baseline.
Yeah.
You boop, 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 boop. Like what? You're just a dog then. Like it's a puppy. That's not a way to experience life.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask God when I get to meet him. I'm like, it's interesting how you planned this out.
There's this I don't know, have you heard Ellie Yost?
No.
She has she's a Instagram personality, Christian as well. One thing she said was, I really like, is the difference between he has a plan for you versus it's all in God's plan. You see the difference?
Say it again.
He has a plan for you versus it's all in his plan. Very, very different. If something bad happens and we say it's all his plan, meaning that he planned out that bad just so you can feel that and it become good. No. Suffering exists, and the Bible actually explains why suffering exists. But there is that light in that tunnel, the one that you were saying, which is he has a plan for it. Don't worry. You see, it's very, very different then. Because there's no such thing as, I would say, pure evil in a sense. It's just there is God, who is good, and then there's a lack of good. Just like how darkness is the absence of light. That is the Christian faith. So another thing you said is the he part, right? So you call him a he because you're Christian.
Yeah, that's just the way I would think about it. But I don't think there's a man over
No,
here
of
in the
course.
12th dimension saying, "How are you, Dave?
Yeah.
Good to see you."
So God is actually, he doesn't have a gender.
Yeah.
But based on scripture and all Hebrew texts, we give him a he because it's the masculine
Powerful
pronoun.
energy.
Yeah, we don't have a neuter pronoun that is personal. You don't call him an it.
Yeah.
You know. So there's that as well.
I also think that the Bible is a weird one for me. Another thing that I was like kind of annoyed at when I was atheist, because I was like, okay, I know they're trying to tell me stories here. I'm not exactly sure if these things have happened, but I know there's a meaning to what's been said. But how else can you describe something that you can't describe?
What do you mean?
Our whole vocabulary is based on the three-dimensional space. So, for example, if people, do you know ayahuasca?
Is it the
drink,
Buddhist?
the psychedelic with DMT in it?
Yeah.
When people take that, it basically is released in your body when you die. So it creates a very similar experience to what happened when you die. Shoot down a white tunnel, you go through space and time, you see things about yourself. Obviously, it's different because you're not dead. But when people come back from that, they can't describe what happened because what they've seen doesn't exist in this reality.
Yeah.
So it would be like trying to describe a banana when all you've seen is apples.
Yeah.
You're like, you can't describe it. You don't have a word for it. If everything is red, how can you say something's yellow?
Of course, yeah.
So I actually think I don't know how we've gathered so much information on
The Bible.
this being. Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
across all scriptures,
Mm.
they all say a very similar thing.
You
You
mean
die, you review your life.
scripture or religions?
Different scriptures, like
Biblical scripture?
yeah,
Okay.
biblical or other religions also.
Mm-hmm.
They say very similar things.
Yeah.
Be a good person is basically it.
Yeah.
Treat others
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
From what I gather.
Mm-hmm.
What made me really believe in God though is near-death experiences.
Okay.
That really hit with the nail on the coffin.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Were you referencing Jesus there?
I don't know who I'm referencing.
Mm.
But yeah, there was like 3,000 near-death experiences. They all say very similar things.
Yep.
They see themselves outside of the body. They can accurately recall what's happening.
Yeah.
Which means three-dimensional space is an illusion.
Mm.
And that we are more than our physical body. To me, that confirmed there's life after death.
Yeah.
Is it life as we experience it now?
Yeah.
Definitely not. But if we go back to energy, everything is energy. Or energy goes somewhere. And our thoughts are energy. So that made me really believe. And I think the whole process of going to heaven is you're passing through these dimensions. That's how I process it.
Do you believe in the hell?
I think hell is a place that you create. I don't think it's a place.
What led you to that thought?
I think you create it. You want to be there.
I don't disagree with that statement. You want to be there, but
I think it's self-inflicted. You don't want the good. You want the suffering. You're a victim. You victimize yourself, and you want to be in this place. People love to be angry.
Yeah.
People love to be upset.
Yeah.
Because it makes them feel safe.
Yeah.
And I think hell, I don't think it's a place where it's just burning fire, but I think it is a suffering, a self-inflicted suffering for whatever reason.
I don't disagree. It is self-inflicted.
Yeah. But do I think everyone should go to hell? I actually wish no one went there.
But okay.
Even if you're evil.
Yeah.
I don't know why you should go there.
That's a very interesting thought.
Yeah.
And
doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. How do you get to heaven?
I think it's a process. I think you first review your life.
Is it you who decide who you go to heaven or not? You say you review.
I think it's just a process.
Okay.
I think you just go wandering. I think you just find yourself there. First, you need to. I'm not too sure why we have this little part in the video game. I like to think, like where we are now. Like that part is weird to me.
Yeah.
But it goes back to like, okay, if we are in energy now, we become conscious. I think God is living through us. One thing I like to think is that the universe is becoming conscious through humans. Do I think there's other conscious life? Probably.
Yeah.
The universe is pretty big. But I also think maybe we are the only one. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like the odds of us being here having this conversation,
yeah,
they don't exist.
Of course.
They're not crypto odds that I'd be betting on.
Yeah.
Like it's minuscule.
I'll tell you some crazy stats, okay? I met my girlfriend at the airport a few months after my breakup with the ex, right? Met her at the airport, found out that she was my senior in school, so she's 2 years older than me. And later found out that we actually went to choir club together in the same secondary school, we were both from the same town. And I was 15 at the time, she was 17. We have a choir picture together, and I don't remember that. She doesn't remember that. And my dad went to her dad's wedding 3 decades ago.
Crazy.
Yeah. And we met at the airport.
Damn.
Not even a hometown at the airport during COVID.
And this is why I think life is so fragile.
Yeah.
Because there's too many small things that would just like change the fabric of reality completely.
Mm.
Do I think those other realities exist? Probably.
Yeah.
Like they are figuring out the multiverse theory and different things. Quantum physics is kind of showing us, okay, there's more going on here than we realize. You look at an atom, the math says one thing, it does another thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I think that's like splitting off into realities. But I think we are in this timeline. That doesn't mean there isn't other timelines that exist alongside that.
It's so interesting because you are someone who knows a lot about these, like, you know, you wouldn't say you're an expert in a lot of these topics, but you know more than the average person, right? And yet you still believe in a God, you believe in a creator, and most people don't. But the way I live my life is it's quite similar. I do believe in the creation story, but I also believe that there's a lot of things when you look at it in your daily life, it is kind of an evidence of a creator. You know, like every single snowflake is different, it doesn't repeat. And when you see a mountain of snow, isn't that crazy? Or our fingerprints. Let's not talk about fingerprints. Let's talk about handwriting. 8 billion people in the whole world, different handwritings, different fingerprints. The amount of the snowflakes are in like more than trillions, and it's all different.
They can't be the same.
That's wild.
To me, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me think there's a creator.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
That just makes me think that nature has evolved and it's a very smart.
I believe someone had to do that. You get what I mean?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I don't have that opinion.
I'll take it a bit deeper to what you said just now. Because I asked you about the heaven part because a lot of religions do believe in heaven. You know, Buddhists would be like enlightenment, reincarnation.
Yeah.
You get pagan gods that have like Valhalla, for example, or Olympus. Is it Olympus or Olympia? I don't know. And then you get Abrahamic gods, which is the Christian belief, which is heaven. You get Islam, which is Jannah, right? And you summarized it in like religious scripture or text. Essentially says, be a good person.
Yeah.
And then you get here, right? What if I told you that Christianity is the only one that doesn't say that?
I've heard this, yeah, like God has forgive Jesus has forgiven people that have wronged him and that have sinned. That's why I think it's self-inflicted. Hell. It's a choice.
Well, you know what the Gospels are?
I know, but I'm like my education on the Bible is biblical, no pun intended. It's bad. It's old.
It's okay. And grill me if you have to, like, if you have any questions.
Yeah.
You know the whole creation story, right? Like Adam and Eve, and then the snake.
I know the story. Yeah.
Okay. So
that goes over my head. I'll be honest.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, it's kind of wild. Different people have different opinions on it, but generally most Christians would say they believe it. It's just the specifics of it is different, right?
Yeah.
One thing we agree on is, and this is another thing. So you get Orthodox, you get Protestants, you get Catholics, and these three generally believe in the Trinity. Trinity as in God is 3 in 1. Right? And the Trinitarian belief is important because that's the only one that says that you can't do enough good to earn your way into heaven. You just can't. You can't. And I'll tell you why. First of all, they all have different Bibles, right? Protestant has their own one, Orthodox have their own one, and then you have Catholics that have their own one. Now, the Bible is split into Old Testament and New Testament. The Old Testament books are different for every one of them, but the New Testament, they all agree on the same amount of books. So that's something to keep note then, right? So
they all believe in kind of Jesus.
They believe Jesus. They believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
It's not God it's 3 beings, but one God. So God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the gospel goes is this: God is just. He's all good. He's just. Right? So the word sin comes from the Greek word, ancient Greek, hata, and it actually means to miss the mark. If you define it on Google, it just like sin just means like breaking divine law, right? But it is this mark, like if you're throwing darts and you're missing it, right? That's what it essentially means. Now, imagine you're speeding down the highway, right? And then you get caught and you get fined, you get called to court, right? And then the judge says, you have to go to jail. This is your fine, right? And then I come in, for example, and I say, it's okay, I'll pay it for Dave. I'll go to jail for him. And all you have to do is, okay, so let's say you walk free now, right? And you meet someone outside and they ask you, wait, how are you walking free? I thought you got a speeding fine. What do you say?
I would say someone saved me, I guess.
Yeah. So, with that being said, right, he's just. There's so many things. Like, the prerequisite to actually go into heaven biblically is no sin. What's that? We just go off the 10 Commandments, for example. Have you worshipped other gods? Have you used God's name in vain? Have you dishonored your parents? Have you lied? Have you looked at a woman in lust? Have you stolen something? Have you covered? Are you jealous of someone? Have you done those things? At least one of it.
Definitely, yeah.
And by biblical law, by God's law, you're going to hell. Wild, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
To me, I just don't understand why, as humans, we would be punished for being human.
Here. This is because we're all flawed, right? We're out because of what happened in the creation story. God created this perfect place for Adam and Eve, and he said, you can eat from anything except for this fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You can do anything, and some people might say, why did he put it there? Why, like to tempt them? No, because if that wasn't there, that garden would be a cage. You had that free will. And this whole thing. So I'm going to go back to the punishment first, right? Punishment is death, but I believe I'm not going to hell, even though I'm a sinner. Why is that? Because he paid my fine. So we have to understand that the story of God is so much more in depth. It's that Jesus came down and he died. This is the part where he died for our sins. So he lived as a man, completely sinless, clean as a lamb, never committed any of the things that I said, and yet he suffered the ultimate punishment. Now there are different things. So, like, obviously Bibles, there are facts, like, did he really existed? And he did. There's so much historical evidence when people
Jesus, he's a real person. Yeah,
when people date, like, use archaeological dates, they use the Bible as a reference. In terms of manuscripts that we have, the Bible is the most, like in terms of like prints and like ancient texts that we have, the Bible is the one that has the most. Socrates, Homer's Iliad, Plato, nothing compared to the Bible. Like, New Testament alone is already a mile long, the thickness of the amount of manuscripts that we have, right? So, he basically paid that fine so that we can walk free. That's why the only way to get to heaven is to have faith in him. That's the difference between all the other religions. In Islam, it's like do enough good to outweigh your bad.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, it's just good karma, bad karma. There's always a way, but what he's telling you is you can't earn it on your own. You can't be perfect. You're not. But I did it for you. And it's the easiest thing. And when you know you're being watched, right, you start moving different. Right?
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There's certain things where I'm about to do it, and I think back to that life review thing, and I go, a few years ago I would have done this, and now I'm just not going to do it because I'm like, this is wrong.
Yep.
And I know it's wrong. And like, what? This is also the reason why I think people that, or even myself when I was atheist, is like, why I think there is a God is like, we know when we do something wrong. Like, a lion will kill a zebra because it's hungry. we will kill. I'm not mad example. We will kill because there's some personal gain,
Mm.
and we know what's wrong. We're like, where did that come from? But like, why are we different to other animals? We sit there and we go, I just did something bad. That makes me believe that we are like
We have
connected to God.
an inherent need to want to do bad. Actually,
We want to do bad.
yeah, it's not a nature to like sometimes first instinct is to lie or to deceive. Very small things, but or not to forgive when somebody wrong us. But when you start studying the Bible, you're like, why is he telling me to do things I don't want to do? Like there's one very famous verse where it's like, somebody slaps you in the right cheek, you offer your left, and it's not very like literally, but it's if somebody wrongs you, love them in return, because it's very easy to love somebody who you love, who loves you back, but to love somebody who you hate, bro, how many people can do that? There's this thing where Peter asked Jesus, like about forgiveness, and Jesus like, yeah, you have Peter's like, how many times do I have to forgive him? And then Jesus is like 77 times 7, like as many times as you should. You should never not forgive him.
When do you not forgive? I know we're talking about from a perspective of like your energy is positive towards this person that has done you wrong. And I can see how that would benefit you. Matty Hart, the preacher that came to my school that I would debate with, his sister was murdered in a bathroom on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Someone came in
horrible
to rob the room and they killed her because they thought they were going to get caught. I think people think it was staff in the hotel. He said he forgave that murderer. I can see how you would have to do that, because if you live your life with hate, you're basically ruining your own life. That energy never reaches that other person. You hold it within. So I understand it from that perspective. But forgiving someone that's causing your life harm.
Yeah.
Let's just say you have a bad friend. They take. You may still want to love them objectively, but you need to remove them from your life. Is that a sin? Is that
No.
in your eyes, like, maybe not a sin, but like, how would if I were Jesus, how would I approach that? Would I just keep that bad person around?
I love that. I love this question. I have 2 examples for you. When Jesus called Matthew to be part of the 12 disciples, Matthew was a tax collector, and he was collecting money from his own people who's betraying them. People hated tax collectors. Technically, even today, people don't like getting tax, right?
No one likes revenue.
Yeah. So like, they hated him because he was betraying his people, and he will often, he's really rich. Matthew was really rich, and Jesus was like, "You follow me." Matthew was like, "Okay, I'll give up everything. I don't even want this job anymore. I'm going to follow you." And Matthew threw a party. He threw a party with like a bunch of his Jew friends. Jesus was there. Some poor people, some tax collectors.
Yeah.
And then the Pharisees, which is like religious leaders at the time, they were walking by and they were like, they called Jesus. And they're like, "Why are you with these people? These are people that we don't mix with. There are regions we don't go. They consider poor people unholy. When the lady was on her period, she is unclean. Tax collectors are disgusting. Why are you with these people?" Jesus was like, "Why are you excluding them?" Like he broke the status quo. He is against moralism, right? And another example for you is that when he was being crucified, and it was a very horrible punishment, 39 whips, right? And they're like little spikes in the whips, right? And then he still had to carry that crazy cross up that mountain. The reason why it's 39 is because the Romans were experts at killing at that time. And also, we have to note that there's no such thing as being nice or courteous in the Roman Empire. Yeah. It's not normal. They can look at somebody and I want to rape you kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, they did 39 whips because 40 would be too deadly. They didn't want him to die.
Yeah.
And did you know that crucifixion is actually one of the most degrading and worst punishments you could give to someone?
Yeah, I know they planned it out the slowest, most painful possible
And
death.
even the Pharisees,
The hole's in the perfect place. Yeah.
yeah, the Pharisees actually, even the people decided, the Romans asked, do you want to save this guy who's a murderer or this preacher? And they chose to save the murderer. So while he was getting crucified, right? And let's say for a second he is God in human form, he is the Son of God, right?
Mm.
The Bible, it says that 72,000 angels were ready to draw their sword against the humans,
Mm.
right? For killing our creator, right? What did Jesus say? Completely sinless, he said, forgive them, Father, for they not know what they have done. He prayed for them. Wild. It's always a what would Jesus do kind of like situation. We can't achieve that. It's not easy. It's hard. I get angry at people and I cut them out for a while, and then my heart goes, oh, I feel so bad, and I try to reconcile, and then it's like I'm nice to you, but I love you from afar. Like when I see
Mm.
you, I'm super loving, but it's just you make me angry, so I don't want to stay when I'm angry, because
Mm.
anger is not a sin. It's the action that leads to that, right? So do we have that kind of love that he showed? See, he was more than just a moral teacher. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
The fact that, like the death and resurrection, 500 people saw him died, and then resurrected, and then we have to understand that this was in a time when people were illiterate. The fact that we have so many manuscripts is crazy, first of all, and also it's many many years of word of mouth, like um sort of traditions. You memorize these things and you pass it on to the next generation.
Mm.
How many times do we have that?
This is a flaw for me, not a
Yeah.
benefit.
Okay. Because
Be-
you think it's altered, right?
I think that you ever played a game in school where you
The
whisper,
Chinese whisperers, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's never the same at the end.
Exactly. That's why Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew, which is the four gospels,
Yeah.
tell the story slightly differently.
Mm.
You ask There was this guy, if you read the book Case for Christ, he actually interviewed an investigator, asking about like what do you think of the gospels, because it's very flawed. It's like it doesn't align perfectly. They don't have the same details,
Mm.
but every witness accounts when you investigate a murder. It's always different, but you don't focus on the differences. You focus on what's
The similarities.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he die? Did he
Yeah.
come back to life? Even one of his disciples, when Jesus appeared to him after 3 days, he's like, I don't believe this. Show me your hands. I need to see like the piercings on your hands. And he showed it. That's why your man's called Doubting Thomas. But then the fact that these 12 men, excluding Judas, because he was replaced by somebody else, these 12 men died for what they believe, died spreading the gospel, which is the good news in ancient Greek, across Europe, Asia, Africa. It's wild. How many people would die? And I don't want to get too deep into other religions because it may come off as offensive. You can ask me that off camera.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
I read the others as well, but the focus is,
I do have a question.
yeah.
Okay. So you've clearly very good understanding of the Bible.
Yeah.
Did you land on your belief prior to being part of a religion, or is your belief based on
Hearing it from somebody else?
from the Bible?
Okay.
As in, like, I would love to hear from your perspective without quoting from the Bible.
Yeah.
What do you think happened when you die?
I don't know.
You don't.
No.
But what do you think? It doesn't need to be a definite answer because I can't say for sure.
I think we'll be judged on what we've done.
Yeah.
And then he'll give us a replay of what our life could have been.
Could have been.
Yeah. And it's a very interesting one because when I said to you, like a lot of my beliefs are biblical. A lot of my values come from the Bible. I was raised Catholic, but I didn't have a relationship with him. It's actually quite amazing that you talk to him intimately. No,
not on a regular basis.
No, it's
and
okay.
I feel guilty about it sometimes. I'll be honest.
It's fine. And that's why a lot of the things when I'm listening to you speak, it's like you're so close. You just there's this part that you need to bridge. Is really, really close. And that bridge is that gospel.
See, I'm okay. So let's
Yeah.
backtrack.
Yeah.
I hate the Catholic Church and what they've
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
throughout history.
Yeah. Horrible.
In Ireland,
Yeah.
terrible.
Horrible.
How they treated people.
Mhm.
It was just one of the worst organizations I can think of.
Mhm.
And I hate
Yeah.
big organizations, big
Yeah.
pharma, governments.
Mhm.
I just hate what happened to it
Mm.
and how that book, the Bible, was used to control people
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
and for wrongdoings.
That's what led to the Reformation.
Yeah,
Martin Luther basically was translating the Bible from Latin to German, and he realized, wait, you can't buy your way into heaven. You can't pay money to
Yeah.
get your sins clean. These people are manipulating us.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's what.
When did this happen? What time period? Was that during the
17,
after the
16?
Renaissance? It must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the Renaissance. And that's what led to a lot of the denominations have very different beliefs, but you know, Catholic Church as an organization, like the Pope, I'm not too sure about. You know, like it's a bit sus.
It feels.
But I have Catholics where I feel like they do believe in this creation story, the Gospels. Actually, you know what? It's all you need is just the Gospels. Literally, all you need is the Gospels.
Do you think I can build this connection without
the Gospel?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. If you believe that he died for your sins, right? That he truly lived and he died for you, right?
I believe he lived. Do I believe he died for my sins? I'm not sure.
Not sure. That's fine.
Yeah.
And it's
Do I believe he was the Son of God? I'm not sure. But I'm definitely not denying his existence. I'm not denying his message. I'm not denying he was a good person. Son of God, I'm not denying it, but I'm also not fully there.
No, I get you. That's fine.
Yeah.
So once you bridge that gap, right, then you're like, that's all you need, right? That's just look. I'm gonna share with you my testimony. So in 2019, I was going through a really rough patch. I was in Limerick, and then I got really suicidal. So I tried to kill myself.
Right?
Okay. Suicide what saved me. It was a whole year, and then after that, I was going through another depressive pit. I was going through a breakup, and then both my grandparents passed away. I was really, really close with them.
Yeah.
So it was really, really tough. And then it was that point where I knew a friend who was a really good friend of mine still today. He just had this joy. I don't understand why. You know, he's always just happy. And I needed to know that. And he told me that, you know, you don't have to you don't have to earn God's love. You know, he already loves you. Like you don't get into the shower clean. You get in the shower to get clean.
Yeah.
He wants you and he's ready for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do all these sacraments that they say. You don't have to go for confession, all these things. You just, if you truly put your faith in him, that's it. That it is that declaration. Romans chapter 10 verse 9 says that if you confess with your mouth that he died for your sins and he's the Son of God, you know, and he was raised from the dead, you'll be saved, right? Simple as that. Like the Bible can be summarized into one verse, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. That is it. That's all this. You know, you can live your whole life not doing anything you want. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to live like a Christian. But just if you have that faith, you're done. But the crazy thing is, right, when you start accepting him and you change that, you can't live that whole life anymore. Somehow you start moving different.
Yeah, I agree.
You start, it's like a metamorphosis. You evolved. I used to have depression, anxiety. It's just gone, bro. It's gone. And has my life been great? No. You know, it's been a shit show, honestly, over the last year.
Yeah.
But it's been also great because I welcome trials. Trials just strengthens your faith. Faith is not something you feel. Faith is you see things different. And I think you have that, right? That's why I'm saying, like, there's that gap that you have to bridge. And like giving a life to Christ is not so much an intellectual decision. It's a feeling. He meets you there and your heart just softens for it. the gospel doesn't change. The message is always the same, right? Dead
Mm.
Sea Scrolls, all these things, like evidence of it. It's like the sun. The sun is always there, but is your heart like wax or is it like clay? Does it harden or does it soften? That's the difference. We're the deciding. So that's why when you say hell is a place that you put to yourself, yes, hell is a place without God. That's what the Bible says. Hell is not some place He created. It's just a place without Him when we die, if you don't accept Him. And what's his name? C.S. Lewis. You know who's that?
Who?
C.S. Lewis, the one who wrote Narnia books.
Oh, I know the Narnia books,
yeah.
but yeah.
So Narnia is actually, if you read, it's actually aligns with like hints of biblical stuff.
Yeah.
But he said that the gates of hell are locked from the inside. No one there didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and it's a very different.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, you're Christian?
Yep.
Catholic?
No.
No.
No. I don't like that whole whole things that you have to do. That's why. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't even classify myself under denomination. I just say that I'm a follower of Christ.
Yeah. I would say I'm spiritual. The reason why I don't like to say I'm fully Christian is, even though I am a Christian technically, is because I deny parts of the Bible, or I don't think the answer, the end all be all. What do you think is going on with all these other religions? So, Bible aside, do we all believe in the same God and we just have slightly different
perceptions of it?
Yeah.
No.
You think they're different gods?
If I truly believe that my God is the one true God, the Bible says that He's the way, the truth, and the life, then they all have to be fake. But then it also comes down to it's crazy. Say it's crazy as well.
So there's billions of people that are
misled.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. And it's very egoist. I know how it sounds. It's very egoistic to say that, but it's just.
But I just don't know if God would agree. So because if they are, maybe they aren't fully thinking like, then God might be over here, but they're chatting this way. If we believe in our God, He's still listening. They're still living a good life. So I think, I personally believe we all believe in one God. And I think people have interpreted it
differently,
different ways.
I used to think that.
Yeah.
I used to think that.
I haven't heard. This is a hot take for sure.
Yeah. Jesus, I believe that when He comes back, He will unite all the religions. Everyone will love Him. Actually, that's contradictory to what the Bible says. He will be rejected. He was rejected. You know.
Will He come back?
The Muslims believe it as well.
Yes.
The Jews are still waiting for it.
The Jews are waiting.
Yeah.
They're still waiting.
Yeah.
But what will the Jews not think this is the first time?
They'll think it's the first time.
When do you think He will come back?
I don't know. And you know how the Bible describes it? No one knows the hour except for the Father. And when He comes back, it's like a thief in the night. You wouldn't know. Or like when a pregnant lady gives birth. You don't know when.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why a lot of people, a lot of preachers you hear on the street, like, get right with God, you know, accept Him in your life and everything. But it's like there's so much to it. Theology is so deep. I follow this guy. I don't know if you know him. Have you heard of JPEG or something? It's like this Northern Ireland creator who gave his life to Christ last year, and all his content now is like, he essentially is like a freelancer. He does like all these things that everyone does here, like in the friend circle, right? But he's now so open about it, and his whole life changed 180, and everything he does, his content now is all just Jesus focused. And I think that's the big testimony on who God is, and how real He is, because it's something that a lot of other religions don't have. Why is that basis of good, and it's not, there's no, how do I put this, like, flaw. It's always a thought like, yeah, we could be perceiving it differently. But then when you start reading the actual scripture, um, it changes you. A lot of people who said they read the Bible, they never read it. They never properly read it.
Mm.
You know?
They've just been told parts of it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
church or whatnot.
There's so much to it. And
it's just the delivery of the priest is not the best in Ireland.
it's changed.
This is so slow.
Yeah. No, it's changed. It's changed so
Mm.
much. And every Sunday, actually, I go to church just right opposite there.
In the point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben told me, yeah.
Yeah. So,
see, for me, like, I feel a resistance. I
Mm.
can feel it when I'm talking to you.
Mm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's almost like I don't want to give in.
No, of course. And you know what's scary, right?
I don't know what that feeling is, but I'm like,
this is what I told my friend as well, because I can tell you're really close. So this is what I told my friend. You are right now, let's say Jesus is on one side and the devil is on the other side. There's a fence here, right?
Yeah.
And you're on that fence. And then they're like, come on, follow me. And you're like, I don't know yet. Just let me have a think. And then everyone just leaves, right? And you're still on the fence, still thinking. And the devil comes back. He's like, come on, let's go. And you're like, wait, I haven't decided yet. And he's like, well, I own the fence.
Okay.
And I'm gonna break this like common thought for a while, right? This idea of how we actually perceive things and value, right? This is what the Bible says and it's in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke, when we come to Christ. All the angels in heaven rejoice. And the parable is, if you're a sheep farmer, right, and you have 100 sheep, and one gets lost in the wild, are you going to leave the 99 and go find the one? Are you? You leave all 99 and just go find that one?
Probably not.
Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does, though. If anything, that shepherd will leave that 99, find that one, put him on his back, and carry him back home. Because that's his love. That's what he'll do for you. It's like the story of the prodigal son, right? He took his younger son, he took his dad's inheritance, left, spent it all, had nothing, came back to his dad, fully shamed, was ready to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I'll just be your slave. You know what his dad did? He said, my son has returned. Get the finest lamb, get the finest cloak, give it to him, and get our fattest lamb and sacrifice it. We'll have a feast, for my son has returned. That's his love.
I can relate to that story a lot,
Yeah.
Because I went through that period of my life. I was out joking about this with my dad 2 weeks ago. Like, I call myself the prodigal son sometimes. Because I went so astray. And I was such a bad person.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like, really ashamed of that, actually.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of mental health things in there. Suicidal as well. Depression, bipolar. Was hospitalized for 3 months when I was 18. And when I think back on it now, I'm just like, that story relates to me, because I'm like, no matter what I did, I was still loved. They were mad at me, but they still loved me.
You know why they're mad at you?
Do I know why?
Yeah.
I have a couple of ideas. I was causing chaos.
To go back to it first, if your earthly father has that much love for you, can you imagine your heavenly one? That's the first thing. I think someone has comforted me like that before. I thought it was amazing. But also, if you have a really close friend, or say your sister, right, and she's like snorting coke every other weekend, right, and just crazy sleeping around, not wanting to care about her life, would you be mad at her?
I don't think for me it's not anger.
Disappointment?
It's not even disappointment, because Not that I've done that, but I have.
Yeah.
I've had similar periods of my life for sure.
No, of course.
It's not an anger. It's just like I wish I could help, but I know they need to figure it out themselves. I approach problems like that a lot. Sometimes I'm like, there's nothing I could say or do
Maybe
that
you're
will.
frustrated.
Hmm?
Frustrated maybe because she's damaging her life.
Yeah, I'm sad for her
Mm.
for sure, but it, I had this thought recently, and it's a weird one, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. It's not necessarily a religious thing, but it's around this topic. I'm okay with being in pain, really bad pain, if everyone I love around me is happy. And I had that thought during the week, and I was like, it's a bit depressing, but it's true. Like, on a very basic level, if I go to a restaurant, and when I was younger, I would go, fuck, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
This is very basic level. If everyone around me is happy, I don't want to complain. And I that's a very basic level, but I apply that on all stages. And I didn't used to be like that. And I don't know what's going on inside there. Is it because I feel like I can take the pain? Is it? I'm not too sure. But like even with my friends, Ben and Tom, I would rather be depressed
Then let them be
than
depressed.
than them be depressed.
Yeah.
I would much prefer it.
Because you
Which
feel
is
like
weird.
maybe you feel like you're able to.
I don't think I'm that good at handling it. It's just that I think I've felt the pain so deeply that I just wouldn't want anyone to go through it. Not any stranger, but definitely someone I cared about.
Another way you could see it is you don't perceive yourself as important as the people around you. Your needs aren't as important as them.
Yeah. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. That's a people person thing, a people pleaser thing.
But I'm not a people pleaser, which is funny.
Oh, okay.
Because I annoy the shit out of people.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't necessarily, like if someone said something I disagreed with, if it was a client, I might agree. There's money on the table, business. But with a friend, I would disagree. After a certain stage, me and Tom were in Vegas in a pool, and I was talking about God. The exact thing I explained to you, the energy, the dimensions, how I see it, anyways. And he goes, Dave, you say the most intelligent shit, and then you just start talking about energy. I lose people.
When you say energy?
Not even with energy, but I think people can understand 90% of my point. They go, great take. And then the last 10%, they go, terrible take. Even though that is part of my take.
Fair, yeah.
I don't know how we tangented into that.
I don't know. I think we're this is probably my longest one. So. but since we're at this, I actually...
How do you end these podcasts?
So we're close to it, but I have a thing that I do with people on the thing. Let's say we start at 7:30. It's probably like 2.5 hours.
2.5, 4? Oh.
I think so, yeah. That's my longest one. Ben before the longest one. Where is it? So what I used to do is, I still do, and basically the person before you is gonna ask the question.
Stephen Bartlett style.
Yeah. And
the guest before you has left a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I will not answer that question, mate.
So it was Matthew before, and it is, do you feel peace by yourself?
Do I feel peace?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
I lived by myself for 4 years until I moved into this place. Peace, no. I love myself. I wouldn't want to be anyone else. Definitely not. I haven't always been like that, but I'm so glad I'm me. Peace, no. There's too much going on inside my head.
Do you sleep with like stuff on?
Do
like white noise?
No.
Okay.
Do I sleep well? I used to sleep amazing. There was a period of my life where I had to smoke weed and
Sleep.
do some crazy shit to sleep. I had really bad addiction to that, and even alcohol at one stage, to knock myself out essentially.
You do sleep well after alcohol, though.
Yeah, well, it's a fake sleep. You don't have any REM. You know when you drink alcohol,
Yeah.
and then you get crazy dreams
Yeah.
last thing in the morning. It's like catch up on your REM sleep. Do I feel peace? I would say no by myself. I usually distract myself with something. Work, conversations. The guys will know. I'm the last one to stop talking. I'll keep myself talking about something.
It's so interesting because I would agree with you. I just recently found peace.
Really?
Yeah.
With yourself?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
What were you battling with?
Insomnia was a big one. I hate white noise. I mean, I hate like silence.
Oh, interesting. Do you have ADHD?
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
People say that. If you saw my tabs, oh, yeah. But
You got all those fucking gospel tabs open.
yeah, that and everything else. So, but no, I think God grounds me. A scripture that I like to think about is like He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So He doesn't change. He's always the same. And sometimes I don't forget to pray. And I don't really spend time with Him. I come back and I used to feel guilty about it. But He doesn't. When you come back to Him, he's not like, oh, where have you been? It's been so long. It's like, oh, welcome back. I've been waiting.
How do you pray?
How do I pray? What do you mean?
What's your process?
Have you heard of the Lord's Prayer?
I've heard of it, but I don't know it.
So Our Father who art in heaven,
Yeah,
hallowed be. Yeah, that one. It's actually really good structure. So Our Father who art in heaven, address God, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, right? That will be done. So like give thanks to who He is, yeah, and then after that say like let your will be done on earth here and everything. And then there's a whole structure to it, and then you ask for repentance and I'm sorry for doing this, forgive me for this, and
forgive me for my sins, yeah,
and trespasses, and you can kind of wrap it up there. So that's actually a very good structure.
So would you say that on loop?
That specific prayer?
Yeah.
No, I have a structure. I can show you later.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I got so interested in that. So when Jesus was preaching, He preached the dialect of Hebrew called Aramaic. I think the Assyrian people speak that. And I got so interested in it, I actually tried to learn the prayer in Aramaic. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah.
But it was so cool because it felt like I was connected to how He actually said it.
How He spoke, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it's Abundi Bashpayo, Nekadashmak, Tete Makotak.
Was Jesus black?
He was Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
For how people was there from. He's definitely not white.
He's not white,
or
but
Asian.
Beautiful long brown hair.
We actually don't know if he had that long hair or.
Yeah, I mean, like so the imagery was drawn and painted during the Renaissance. In Italy, where people were white with long brown hair.
Yeah.
So they're not just going to start painting someone from Israel.
Yeah.
You know.
So it definitely changed quite a bit, but yeah.
One question. Yeah. There's a lot of tension in Israel right now. How do you think God feels about this?
Hates it.
Holy Land. It's a weird war, actually.
It is, because
I'm not too into like global politics in that sense, but I'm just curious.
It is very unfortunate. Ceasefire yesterday, isn't it?
What?
Ceasefire yesterday.
Oh, really?
Didn't hear?
No.
You heard it? Yeah.
Ceasefire.
That's only for like 200 days, I think. But yeah, ceasefire.
Oh damn! Before Trump got in, he would have loved to have got that announcement. Biden got the win.
Dude, somebody asked Biden after he stepped off the podium, are you to thank for this or Trump is? Oh, bro, what an asshole to ask such a question.
Hey, how are you?
He turned on, he's like, are you being serious? And then he just walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
do you like our Kamala calendar, actually?
Oh my gosh.
I got it when I was in the US.
Aren't you guys MAGAs?
I am the most Kamala supporter of all time. No, I just got the I have nothing against Kamala. I would
Yeah.
support Trump 100%.
Yeah.
Crazy that's a controversial opinion and a hot take.
If you're living in Ireland, yeah.
If you live anywhere that's a liberal
Yeah.
place, any blue state in the US.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. I was in the US in December and I saw the calendar in the shop and I was like,
That's amazing.
I was like, oh my God, Kamala. And every month is a different picture of her.
Really? Shit.
Okay, do I need to leave a question for the next
yeah,
question?
yeah, you have a question, yeah.
Can I? Okay, so this is a quick one.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala?
Oh, no, please.
And
I
why?
know who's next.
Who's next?
You don't, it's like, yeah, you don't know her, but she's also in the industry like us.
She's a Kamala?
I don't know. But try to make it deep.
That's a pretty deep question.
So ask Trump or Kamala.
Oh yeah, so you can just say that I asked that question originally.
Yeah, I'll scare her with that.
Okay. And then my actual question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I can't know anything about her?
Yeah, take your time.
My question is about money. And it is, when is enough enough?
You want it to be specifically money or you want to leave it vague?
No. I would prefer it to be around money. When is enough enough? And why did you pick that number?
Ooh, interesting one. Sick. Okay.
And that is a McDonald's wrap.
That's a McDonald's
What
wrap.
is the wrap of the day, baby?
I think Ben said something about being sponsored by because we had a shake dog behind us.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast was brought to you by the Biden administration.
Sponsored by
Sponsored by Kamala Harris.
He said it.
I didn't say it. Don't listen to me.
I didn't condone it.
When they watch this podcast, Trump will be the president of the United States, the 46th or 47th? The 46th, I'm going to go with 46.
46?
The 46th president of the United States.
Right. Anyways, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Ian. Appreciate
I
you.
really appreciate it. Really, really cool.
And I apologize for anyone who has listened to the entire thing. You have lost.